Ìbàdàn ètò ààbò ẹ̀mí òun ìgbé ayé ìrọ̀rùn níjọba ti pèsè fún àwọn oníbàárà yìí níbẹ̀ èyí ni ó wá gbòdẹ́kun fáwọn amòòkùnṣìkà tí wọ́n ń ṣe bí oníbàárà láti ṣiṣẹ́ ẹbí wọn. Ìjọba wa ń rọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin onínúdúndùn ọlọ́rẹ tí mọ́ ń tọ́jú àwọn oníbàárà yìí pé kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ bá wọn lákìyẹlé láti ṣèṣe ọ̀rẹ́ yín. Ààbò tó péye ti wà fún ẹ̀yin àtàwọn tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ta lọ́rẹ níbẹ̀. Ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́yá tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn oníbàárà nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Very good morning to you, and you're welcome live to Aloore Radio, where we're transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat Agodi Ibadan. My name is Neo Asuko, and I will be bringing you the newspaper review from the Nation newspaper.
Good morning, my name is Olukemi Omotosho. I have with me the Nigerian Tribune, and you're welcome to Aloore Radio, transmitting from GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Agodi Ibadan. On Facebook, it is at www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. On YouTube, it is at Aloore Radio, and our website remains www.alooreradio.com. Thanks for listening.
And for my first story, Southwest lead in voter registration. That can be found on page 4.
And I have ASU extends 168 days strike by 4 weeks. Parents, students kick, and the rider says, "We don't trust you again." Parent tells ASU. Nance wants education minister sacked. That can be found on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And from page 5 of the Nation, Kaduna residents flee as gunmen abduct over 50.
The same story can be found on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. 50 feared abducted in Kaduna, 10 in Taraba, Bauchi.
Police beef up security in Oyo State, Ondo, and Ekiti State. And I have this PDP bought to mediate in Atiku Wike face off. Both stories can be found on page 27 and page 6 of the Nation.
And on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune, Gani Adams alarm. How we are dealing with security threat, police, Amotekun, hunters. That can be found on page 8.
And from page 28, intrigues as Amechi Akpabio, Silver battle for control of NDDC.
Federal government still subsidizing petrol price, blames marketers for hike. That can also be found on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Explain surge in crime, minister challenges security agencies. Page 7, the Nation.
PDP Board of Trustees meets tomorrow over Atiku Wike rift. That can be found on page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Pantami rejects 5% telecoms tax. Page 7, the Nation newspaper.
First grains ship leaves Ukraine under Russia deal. That can be found on page 2.
And I have two stories. No more illegal admissions. JAMB warns head of tertiary institutions. And this is coming from Okowa. Peter Obi not experienced enough to lead Nigeria. Both stories can be found on page 6 of the Nation newspaper.
On page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune, Buhari orders Naseri to regionalize farming in Nigeria. That can be found on page 2, as I've already said.
And federal government invested in renewable energies, says minister. And I also have the story, federal government lads FMB's
appointments.
And I have the story too coming from UBA. UBA rewards 20 kids with 4 million naira in savings draw. And let me quickly take this. Lagos host NAFEST 2022 technical meeting. Both stories can be found on page 24 of the Nation newspaper.
And on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune, don't return to Southeast without Nnamdi Kanu. IBOP warns Igbo leaders staying in Abuja.
And you can read these as surveyors gives tips on how to tackle insecurity. And again, APC Council to empower 37,000 youths. Both stories can be found on page 24 of the Nation newspaper.
Still on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune, on insecurity, FRSC boss orders enforcement of unregistered motorcycles.
I have that twin story of that story. Insecurity, FRSC begins clamp down on unregistered motorcycles. But that story can be found on page 26 of the Nation.
And I have this one that says illicit drugs. Customs vows to enforce 100% examination of cargoes. That is on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Sanwo-Olu media chiefs for workshop in Lagos State. And I have the sad story. Ex-LASU Vice Chancellor Hussein dies. That can be found on page 27 of the Nation newspaper.
And on agriculture, I have over 4 million Nigerians will be jobless if government bans donkey trading. Insecurity may worsen.
And I have this coming from the foreign scene. Human traffickers exploiting digital technologies, says reports. And at this point, we'll go for a quick break. When we're right back, we'll bring you details of the newspaper. Please stay tuned.
ọ̀pọ̀ àṣeyọrí lórí ìdàgbàsókè níjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ti ṣe ẹ̀jẹ̀ sọ̀dí ẹ̀mẹ́ ó pèsè ọkọ̀ lárìnká sọ̀fíntótó agbègbè iṣẹ́ ẹbí kárí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àfikún àtìròyìn lágbára fáwọn operation board dáyẹ́tẹ̀ ìwéré ilé àtàgbọ́ ààrẹ ó fi kún agbára ẹ̀rọ ayélujára bí òwìwí gbàwòrán àṣẹlẹ̀ pàjáwìrì sílẹ̀ ńbàdàn commissioning of mobile squadron unit lágbọ́ ààrẹ ó dáwọ́lé múgbòòrò ètò ọrọ̀ ajé nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ nípasẹ̀ àgbẹ̀ farm of estate lákòfò èrúwà àti láwẹ́ pípín ohun ọ̀gbìn fẹ́gbẹ̀rún mẹ́wàá àgbẹ̀ asphalt and equipment níjà yìí fífọwọ́síwé mi ni mo ní nǹkan mi sí ọ̀fọ̀ lóṣù péréte ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀ mílíọ̀nù fún dènà covid-19 àbítọ̀nà ọ̀dàjì road lautech vehicle inspection center ìdíàpẹ́ ọ̀nà amáníyàjà yìí sísáyìn àtàwọn agbègbè dágbègbè nìbàdàn ó gbówó oṣù ọdún mẹ́rin kalẹ̀ fún ìṣẹ́fẹ̀yìntì àwọn olùkọ́ gbogbo ọ̀ọ́dúnrún òṣìṣẹ́ dádúró lọ́nà àìtọ́ ló gbà padà tó sì ń sanwó wọn déédéé abẹ́ gbáriwo ó káṣọ ẹgbẹ̀rún mẹ́ta owó tóbi ń san ẹ̀kọ́ dọ̀fẹ́ ó kú ìwò tún kíláàsì ṣe ó fa lautech padà di tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ àtúnṣe pẹ̀lú ohun èlò fún ilé ìwòsàn alábọ́dé lọ́pọ̀ ọbí mélòó láwọn ká tábọ́ ara ẹni tí ń pẹ̀gàn ìjọba Ṣèyí Mákindé má pẹ̀lú ọ̀bọ̀jẹ̀kọ̀ ohun gbogbo tí ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ní ẹja jọ wò.
Oyo State Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism.
ìyá ọmọlúàbí ni kó ṣèlérí kó sì mú lérí rẹ̀ ṣẹ ṣé lásìkò polongo òdìbò ni gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ti sọ pé ìṣèjọba òun kò ní ṣàdédé lé ẹnikẹ́ni níbi tí wọ́n ti ń jẹ tí wọ́n ti ń mu láì ṣe kó òun pèsè ibòmíì fún wọn láti má déhùn yìí ṣẹ ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́yá ti ń rí sí ìtọ́jú àwọn oníbàárà nílùú Ìbàdàn tí kó gbogbo àwọn oníbàárà tó wà ní Sábó lọ sí agbègbè kan ní Akínyẹlé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n sì ṣe káàkiri gbogbo ìlú Ìbàdàn ètò ààbò ẹ̀mí òun ìgbé ayé ìrọ̀rùn níjọba ti pèsè fún àwọn oníbàárà yìí níbẹ̀ èyí ni ó wá gbòdẹ́kun fáwọn amòòkùnṣìkà tí wọ́n ń ṣe bí oníbàárà láti ṣiṣẹ́ ẹbí wọn ìjọba wa ń rọ gbogbo ẹ̀yin onínúdúndùn ọlọ́rẹ tí mọ́ ń tọ́jú àwọn oníbàárà yìí pé kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ bá wọn lákínyẹlé láti ṣiṣẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ yín ààbò tó péye ti wà fún ẹ̀yin àtàwọn tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ ta lọ́rẹ níbẹ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́yá tó ń rí sí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn oníbàárà nípìnlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń kéde.
Back to newspaper review on Aloore Radio. We are transmitting from GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Secretariat Agodi, Ibadan. My first story is taken from page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Parents, students kick as ASU extends strike by another 4 weeks. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has extended its over 5-month-old rollover strike by another 4 weeks. The rollover strike is with effect from 12:01 a.m. on Monday, August 1st, 2022. President of ASU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, who announced this in a statement on Monday in Abuja, said the 1-month extension would give the federal government ample time to satisfactorily resolve all the outstanding issues. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Parents, students kick as ASU extends strike by another 4 weeks.
Atiku Wike face-off. PDP set to meet Rivers Governor, aggrieved members, says BOT chairman. The Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party is set to mediate in the ongoing face-off between the party's presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. The board, according to its chairman, Senator Walid Jibrin, will meet tomorrow to discuss and come up with recommendations on a solution. You can read more.
Comrade Emma Powerful said, and I quote, as terrorists and insecurity are gradually but surely taking over the Nigerian seat of power, Abuja, We, the global movement and the noble family of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, wish to remind the so-called elders and politicians of Igbo extradition in Abuja never to return home to Biafra land without Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune. Don't return to Southeast without Nnamdi Kanu. IBOP warns Igbo leaders staying in Abuja.
And coming from page 7 of the Nation, Pantami rejects 5% telecoms tax. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, yesterday rejected the imposition of 5% tax on the telecom sector. He urged Nigerians to ask the various security agencies why, in spite of the strict regulations around subscriber identity model, SIM card registration, and mandatory linkage of SIM with the national identity number, people are still being kidnapped and ransom payment negotiated through the mobile phone, while banditry insurgency continued to grow at an alarming rate. For more details, turn to page 7 of the Nation newspaper. Pantami rejects 5% telecoms tax.
Federal government still subsidizing petrol price, says Sylvia. The federal government on Monday said it is still subsidizing petrol despite recent increase in pump price from government-regulated 165 naira per litre to between 174 naira and 215 naira per litre. This was even as it blamed the recent hike on petroleum marketers. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Tamepere Silva, stated this at a stakeholders consultation forum on regulations organized by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) in Abuja. Sylvia said the government was yet to deregulate, adding that any increase in the price should be blamed on marketers. For the rest of that story, do turn to page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. Federal government still subsidizing petrol price, says Sylvia.
No more illegal admissions. JAMB warns heads of tertiary institutions. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has warned heads of tertiary institutions against conducting illegal admissions. The board said it would no longer condone underhand admissions by tertiary institutions. JAMB gave the warning in its weekly bulletin released by its head of public affairs and protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, yesterday in Abuja. For more details, turn to page 6 of the Nation newspaper. No more illegal admissions. JAMB warns heads of tertiary institutions.
And on insecurity, Danny Adams alarm. How we are dealing with security threats, police, Amotekun, hunters. On the heels of the security alarm raised by the Are Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Iba Gani Adams, heads of Amotekun in states of the southwest geopolitical zones, have said a combination of local intelligence, security strategies of state actors, and security consciousness of all and sundry are being relied upon to tackle security threats in the zone. Adams had in a statement on Sunday noted that intelligence reports indicated that terrorists who were fully armed with various arms and ammunition were already massing in forests both in Osun and Ogun states, and we are planning to strike in Lagos, Ibadan, and Abeokuta. However, in various conversations with the Nigerian Tribune on Monday, heads of Amotekun in Ogun, Ekiti, Oyo, Osun said vigilance, proactiveness, collaboration between locals and security agencies had become more imperative now than ever to stamp out the security threat.
Defend yourselves against terrorist criminals. Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari yesterday restated his call on the residents to defend themselves against terrorists and other criminals that have put the state under siege. The governor, who spoke during the 2022 special prayer in Katsina, insisted that the real security agencies. For more details, turn to page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Masari to Katsina residents: defend yourselves against terrorist criminals.
And on page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune, I have Oisada on board 100-year beneficiaries for enterprise support to get land at Fashola Agribiz Industrial Hub. The Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, Oisada, has onboarded beneficiaries of the Youth Entrepreneurship in Agribusiness here in the crop production enterprise. A statement by the Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosu, indicated that these youths were part of the 3,300 beneficiaries who received training at CSS Farms, Nasarawa State last year. The onboarding and orientation marked the beginning of the project's second phase for these beneficiaries. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune. Oysada onboards 100-year beneficiaries for enterprise support. Also on page 12, I have over 4 million Nigerians will be jobless if government bans donkey trading. Insecurity may worsen. Donkey Dealers Association of Nigeria has called on the government to rescind plans to ban the killing of donkeys for commercial activities, which they said will lead to about 4 million Nigerians losing their jobs and may worsen security situation in the country. The association suggested that the government should regulate the donkey business, which they said would be a source of revenue generation for the government as more jobs will be created. For the rest of that story, turn to page 12 of the Nigerian Tribune. Over 4 million Nigerians will be jobless if government bans donkey trading. Insecurity may worsen.
And still on the Nation newspaper, NCC boosts R&D with 500 million naira. The Nigerian Communication Commission has committed over 500 million naira to the universities and other tertiary institutions across the country to facilitate research and development and innovations to promote development in the telecommunications industry. Executive Vice Chairman of the NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, who made this at a 2-day regional roundtable with academia, industry, and other stakeholders, which ended in Kano at the weekend. For more details, turn to page 8 of the Nation newspaper. NCC boosts research and development with 500 million naira.
And on crime, security, court metro page of the Nigerian Tribune. Bandits have abducted over 50 in Birin Gwari, says Bepo. Pregnant woman delivers baby, dies with the baby. The Birin Gwari Emirates Progressive Union, Bepo, has said bandits have encircled Damari town in the eastern part of Birin Gwari in Kaduna State and in the process abducted over 50 people. This was contained in a statement issued by the chairman of Bepo, Isiaq Usman Kasai, on Monday. Kasai said, in the last 5 days, the union had alerted relevant authorities and the public on the cruel, wicked, and heartless attacks of terrorists in the Damari following the withdrawal of Ansaru, a splinter group of Boko Haram, from the area. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Bandits have abducted over 50 in Birin Gwari, says Bepo.
UBA rewards 20 kids with 4 million naira in saving draw. Africa's Global Bank, United Bank for Africa, UBA, has rewarded 20 kids with 200,000 each as scholarship grants in its just concluded Kiddies and Teens draw held in Lagos State. The winners qualified for the first draw because their parents' guardians had maintained standing instructions of 10,000 naira to their child words UBA Kiddies or Teens account for 6 months. For more details, turn to page 24 of the Nation newspaper. UBA rewards 20 kids with 4 million naira in savings draw.
On page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune, 2023, not everybody who registered for voters' cards will be entitled to vote. INEC it justifies suspensions of CVR and estimates 95 million voters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said not all who registered for the continuous voters registration CVR, which was suspended at the weekend, will be entitled to the permanent voters card PVCs to make them eligible to vote. INEC National Commissioner for Information and Voters Education, Mr. Festus Okoye, made the disclosure on Monday while speaking in Abuja on an Arise CV program. Okoye, who put the estimated number of voters for 2023 general elections at 95 million, maintained that prospective voters who indulge in multiple or double registration will be deleted from the commission data and would ultimately be denied the PVCs. Okoye recalled that in the first and second quarters of the CVR, over 46% of those who registered were removed from the commission data for multiple registration. For the rest of that story, turn to page 22 of the Nigerian Tribune. 2023, not everybody who registered for voters' cards will be entitled to vote. INEC.
APC Council to empower 37,000 youths. The All Progressives Congress APC Professional Council will empower 35,000 young Nigerians with entrepreneurial and vocational skills. Director General of the support group, Sheyi Bamigbade, noted that the initiative is imperative because youth constitute part of the working class with the strength and energy to contribute to the country's development. For more details, turn to page 24 of the Nation newspaper. APC Council to empower 37,000 youths.
And this third story is coming from page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Father, mother, 3 children die after Amala meal in Kogi. 5 family members have lost their lives after eating cassava flour meal, popularly known as Amala, prepared at their family house at Osigowe, Okaito, in Okei local government area of Kogi State. It was gathered on Monday that those who died after eating the meal include the father, mother, and 3 of their children. The source said that the 3 children died immediately after eating the meal on Friday, while their mother died on Saturday and their father died on Sunday. For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Father, mother, 3 children die after eating Amala meal in Kogi.
Coming from page 24 of the Nation newspaper, tips on how to tackle insecurity by surveyors. The Nigerian Institution of Surveyors has advocated the urgent need for geospatial mapping of the entire country to tackle the Hydra-headed security challenges. The body advised the federal government to initiate proper mapping of the nation to help the security architecture in their effort to nip in the horrendous killings and kidnapping in the bud. For more details, turn to page 24 of the Nation newspaper. Tips on how to tackle insecurity by surveyors.
And police nab man with tramadol tablets worth 25 million naira in Kano. Kano State Police Command has arrested a 30-year-old man, Abba, surname withheld, for being in possession of tramadol tablets valued at 25 million naira kept inside a vehicle's boot. This was contained in a statement signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer PPRO SP Aruna Kiyawa on Monday in Kano. The statement read, and I quote, "On July 31st at about 10:30 p.m., a team of policemen led by CSP Mohammed Yakub, Divisional Police Officer DPO of Badawa Division, while on intelligence-led stop and search on Ahmadu Bello International, intercepted one Abba driving an unregistered white-colored Honda Accord 2016 model car containing 500 packets of suspected tramadol tablets valued at 25 billion naira packed inside the vehicle's boot." For the rest of that story, you can turn to page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. Police nab man with tramadol tablets worth 25 billion naira in Kano.
Security beefed up in Ondo, Oyo, and Ekiti State. The Ondo State Police Command has beefed up security across the state owing to reported security threats by terrorists. Sources said additional policemen have been deployed in border towns. For more details, turn to page 27 of the Nation newspaper. Security beefed up in Ondo, Oyo, and Ekiti states.
And my last story is taken from the back page of the Nigerian Tribune. 2022 Commonwealth Games, Yusuf wins another medal for Nigeria. Weightlifter Islamiyat Adebukola Yusuf on Monday captured a bronze medal for Team Nigeria in the women's weightlifting 64 kg event at the ongoing 22nd Commonwealth Games. It was Nigeria's first medal at the ongoing Birmingham 2022. Yusuf, who hailed from Aloore local government area in Osun State at the National Exhibition Center, Birmingham, had a total lift of 212 kg to win the bronze. For the rest of that story, turn to the back page of the Nigerian Tribune. 2022 Commonwealth Games, Yusuf wins another medal for Nigeria.
And that's where we draw the curtain close on this segment of Newspaper Review, coming to you live from Aloore Radio, where we're transmitting from the GSM studio at the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan. Don't forget to stay tuned for more of our programs. Once again, I am Eneo Asuko. Thanks for joining us.
And my name remains Olukemi Omotosho. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.
Your day has gotten a lot better. You can stand a chance of winning amazing prizes every month on Aloore Radio. How to participate? Follow us on our Facebook page on Aloore Radio. Share our program links on all your social media platforms. The person with the highest share